The Nintendo Switch, one of Nintendo's best consoles. So, Nintendo has been around for quite a long time. In fact, they've been around since the 1800s. But in the 1980s, they released one of the most well known consoles, the NES. This pretty much made Nintendo a household name. And over the years, they've released many consoles into the home console market and, of course, handheld gaming market. And of course, in 2017, one of the best consoles was released, the Nintendo Switch. This was a hybrid console. It wasn't just a home console, but it was also a handheld. It was a next evolution for the 3DS and, of course, Wii U. Two consoles that generally had a, well, interesting reception. While the Wii U failed, the 3DS succeeded, having many iconic games on that. Of course, we didn't have some really iconic games. I mean, Splatoon did start on that one, and we, of course, did get Pokken. But the Wii U did, unfortunately, fail. But, of course, the Switch succeeded. Now, of course, the Switch 2 is a month old already, and, most of what I've heard from it is generally really good. Let's take a look back at the original Switch and see if it's still worth getting in 2025. So the Switch came out all the way back in 2017 and made a huge impact within its first year with games like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Eventually, it would also get ports and other first party games of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, games like Skyrim, the Pokemon series, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and of course various other games that I cannot even begin to name. I think what really worked with the Switch is the hybrid aspect of it. It's not only a home console, but it's also handheld. So no matter where you are, you can start playing on your Switch. Games that I seriously doubt would have ever worked on the Switch are on there, like Skyrim and The Witcher. Same thing with other stuff like various Final Fantasies. The third party lineup really proved how well the Switch was, and it really shows that Nintendo learned a lesson from the Wii U. So, what are some of the best third party games? Well, honestly, I would definitely say the Persona games, SMT5, SMT3 Nocturne, Skyrim, and of course, Rideout. There's plenty of other games that I have not named that are generally amazing on the Switch and really just shows how awesome this console was. Even the first party titles themselves were really good. We got stuff like Zelda, Pokemon, Mario, Kirby, Smash, and of course, the Xenoblade series, which generally made the Switch a powerhouse of a console. Then, of course, we have the eShop, which was generally pretty good too. Although it's a bit lacking compared to the Wii U eShop and 3DS eShop, as older games are locked behind a Switch subscription, the Switch's eShop is generally still really amazing in my opinion, and I've also have been able to find many awesome titles through the eShop that generally made owning a Switch worth it. Then of course, there's the design of the console. The console design is really good. It's a pretty console and it gets the job done. As for criticisms, the Switch is a flawed console. So I would definitely say for that, the loading times on some games generally can be a bit of an issue. The installation times can be slightly slow. There's shovelware on the Switch, and of course Switch games can be difficult to find and collect for because the Switch uses cartridges. They're apparently more expensive to produce, and as of course means that some Switch games are going to be a bit more expensive, which can make collecting for the console a bit of a chore to do. But overall, I do think the Switch is an amazing console. I generally would say this is one of my favorite Nintendo consoles, probably my most favorite of all time, right next to the 3DS, because I mean, I can play like literally most Pokemon series on that, so I'd have to say that. But of course, the Switch is generally an amazing console, and of course, we'll see what the Switch 2 does in the future. But of course, the question remains, is the Switch 2 still worth getting in 2025? Honestly, yeah. I mean, sure, the Switch 2 is generally going to be a lot more powerful, but it's also a bit of a hassle to find. Not to mention, again, the Switch games are going to be a lot cheaper to find, so I would definitely recommend sticking with the Switch for now. And again, like, the Switch does have cheaper models with the original Switch and, of course, the Lite, but all three releases of the Switch are generally really good. And no matter what your playstyle is, no matter how you want to use your Switch, chances are that console has got you covered. And, well, I think that's all I really have to say about the Switch. It's a really good console. It's one I definitely recommend checking out if you haven't already, or if you generally, you know, have one. I'd say definitely put some more time into it. It's a really good console, no matter what version of the Switch you have, and I'm definitely excited to see what the Nintendo Switch 2 does. So, of course, that's all I really have to say for today's video. So, until then, thank you for watching and have a wonderful night.